Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a quick little foundation first impressions. I recently picked up the Max Factor Pan Stick Foundation off Amazon. I only had to pay $6 for this, so I don't know if it's always like that affordable of a price or if Amazon was like having a deal or if I got like a fake one. I hope I didn't get a fake one, but I feel like that's a really good price for a stick foundation. So I was looking on the Amazon website to kind of tell you guys more about it because I don't really know much about the foundation or the formula, and there's legit like no information at all. It was very, very useless in my opinion, so I decided just to go on the actual Max Factor website so I can read to you guys about it. And the first thing that kind of like caught me off guard that I saw is the fact that it only comes in 9 colors. Like, if you guys look close, you can see the color range is not that like great in my opinion. So on the description of the product on the actual Max Factor website, it says it's maximum coverage with minimal effort, convenient stick applicator for quick application, helps conceal pigmentation, birthmarks, and blemishes. Okay, if they're claiming to cover up birthmarks and blemishes, like that better be really good coverage. You guys know that I like full coverage like right away. I don't feel like I should have to build it up that much, so I'm hoping that this is going to be good coverage because you guys know like I like to cake it on. So then it also says it's supposed to be good for smoothing away fine lines and wrinkles and handy for on-the-go touch-ups, which is kind of weird to me too because I can't imagine like touching up a cream or a liquid on the go. I feel like that's so impractical. I mean, it makes sense to like touch up your powder throughout the day, but like your liquid, that's just like weird to me. So as you guys know, with all my foundation reviews, I went ahead and washed my face off camera, and then I put on my Smashbox Primer Oil, which is my like legit holy grail prep for like foundation application. I'm obsessed with it. But today, since it's 90 degrees here in Portland, I'm gonna have to go in with a second primer in this T-zone area because my T-zone is seriously so oily. I'm probably gonna be spending a little bit of time outside today, which is why I really want to use a different primer in the T-zone. I mean, if I was gonna be indoors or if I was gonna be working inside all day, I would not like add another primer, but since I might be outside a little bit, I'm gonna go in with a new primer that I haven't tried yet, but I've heard a couple like good things on so far. It's the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer. I received a little kind of deluxe size travel sample thingy to try, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this before I put the foundation on, probably only in my T-zone. I'm really excited to try the stick foundations today though, you guys, because usually every stick foundation I use I don't like. The Anastasia one I ended up returning because there was no coverage to it and the formula was way too dry in my opinion, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna like this one. The only stick foundation that I've used that I'm really in love with so far is the Lancome Teint Idole one, which is a little bit more of like a full coverage matte finish one. I really don't like the Bobbi Brown or Makeup Forever one in my personal feedback for my skin because the Bobbi Brown one is just no coverage for my skin, and then when I use the Makeup Forever one, it's really, really creamy and moisturizing, so when I wear it throughout the day, like I just get really oily and shiny, so those ones would be good for like if you have different concerns or different skin types, but for me personally, with being very oily and wanting a full coverage, I just really haven't found a good stick foundation that I've been obsessed with except for the one from Lancome, but you guys know Lancome is really expensive. The thing that I'm kind of noticing so far about this Tarte matte primer is it has this very silicone feel to it. A lot of times like the Becca matte primer or a lot of other brand primers are very dehydrating and dry and like chalky, but this one from Tarte still feels very silicone-y, so far I like it, but I don't know how it's going to do throughout the day with, you know, like helping my oil control and making my makeup last longer. I haven't even put any makeup on yet and I'm already getting sweaty. It is so hot in my room right now with all these lights on, but I'm gonna have to get over it. We have a video to film today, we have a foundation to try. We cannot complain about the heat. Okay, so when it comes to the application of the foundation, I'm gonna do it pretty much how like everybody does it and like how I've been doing it in my videos, where one side Beauty Blender, one side brush, just to kind of see like what one builds better coverage. I mean, it's kind of obvious these days that brushes build better coverage and Beauty Blenders kind of dilute it and minimize the coverage a little bit. But you know, if this foundation is full coverage right away, it may be okay to use it with the Beauty Blender so you can kind of dilute it and make it a little bit more natural. I'm really nervous right now because whenever I try new foundation, I don't know what to expect, if I'm gonna like hate it or like it, so I get like a little bit of anxiety when it comes down to like, oh, it's time to put the foundation on and stop talking about it. Oh, okay, are you guys ready? I'm ready. I think I'm just gonna go like do a little swipe here. Okay, first things first, I can tell that color is gonna be like spot on for me. I'm going to use a brush on this side, then a sponge on this side, and I'm going to be using this like really interesting brush that I've been really obsessed with lately. I got this a couple years ago in gratis at Sephora, and I don't know why it took me so long to kind of use it, but the way that I was kind of like trained and kind of like told about it, it's supposed to be a Beauty Blender on a brush. I know it's kind of weird to kind of think about, but it legit looks like a Beauty Blender. The thing that I kind of like about this brush so far is that it doesn't take away the coverage like a Beauty Blender does. And I probably should tell you guys what the brush is called. It's called the Sephora Collection Pro Press Full Coverage Complexion Brush number 66. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm like really talkative today, sorry. Let me start putting this foundation brush to work. Okay. Oh. Whoa. That actually looks really good on my skin. I think the color match is literally flawless. There's like no line of demarcation where the foundation is versus where it isn't. That's amazing. It looks like the excess product that my skin doesn't need, it easily slides to like add coverage up here. But I like the fact that like the more that I'm pouncing it, it doesn't like take any coverage away or like slide the product around too much. I mean, like as you guys see, that just made my skin tone just look super even. But I don't see any makeup, do you? Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. I mean, for having like a stick foundation here, which stick foundations are usually very cakey and heavy, I mean, I don't feel like I see any like artificial texture or color or anything like that. This looks like beautiful skin in my opinion. Real quick before I add some more, you guys should let me know if you like it when I film my first impression videos like super close like this, or should I do it kind of like just normal like this and you just kind of like scoot back and forth to show you close up versus far away. I feel like it's kind of good to do both of them, but let me know what you guys think down below. Add a little bit right here. I think I'm already adding way too much because as you guys can already tell, this foundation is really good coverage right away. I mean, I honestly really do agree with the claim of it being full coverage. I've been getting these like weird breakouts lately on my forehead where they're like under the surface where they just look like textured bumps, and they're so annoying because I can't like extract them or anything and they won't like pop, so I'm like how do I get rid of that bubble? You guys, it is so hot in here. I'm like sweating for filth. I feel really weird right now because I have nothing bad to say at all, like no concerns, nothing like negative feedback. Like I feel like I'm almost like trying to kind of think of something bad to say just because I feel like I'm almost like giving it too much of a good review, but I just can't lie to you guys, like this looks beautiful on my skin. Like I don't see texture, I don't see like cakiness, anything. I'm obsessed, but since you guys are seeing it on camera, I know that it's a little bit different since I have all these lights in front of me. My eyes are just kind of like tweaking out right now. So if you guys have any like concerns that you think, let me know down below. Like I don't care if you're rude about it. Like if it looks cakey, tell me. Like who cares? Like it's just makeup, I can wash it off. Alright, I'm gonna move on to this side now with the sponge so we can see what happens. So far I like how this really does give you almost like a concealer and foundation coverage in one. It's really nice. I feel like if I wanted to skip concealer on the side, I definitely can get away with it because it looks like I have the coverage of a concealer on right now. I do feel like the coverage is a little bit less with the sponge. I feel like I can see a little bit like of the red and like dark spots right here still. Kind of like the coverage of a brush a lot better so far, but you can definitely do either or depending on how much coverage you need. If you don't need as much coverage as I like, you can definitely just like Beauty Blender it out or just use like your fingers or any tool that you like. But so far I feel like if I'm going to continue to use this in the future, I'm probably going to be using a brush just so I can have it be fuller coverage right away. I mean, do you guys even see a big difference? Because I can definitely see a difference. I feel like this side looks definitely a lot more like full coverage. This side just looks a little bit more like medium. But you know, I wonder how it builds up with the Beauty Blender. So let me just add a little bit more. So it's definitely buildable on this side with the Beauty Blender, but I'm still liking the coverage of the brush a lot better. I just feel like I'm going to do a lot more like stippling and like tapping motions to get it blended out with the Beauty Blender. So I feel like if you want to take more time and like waste time, maybe use a Beauty Blender, but I'm definitely kind of like loving the coverage of a brush a lot better, which is surprising because usually I feel like for me it's opposite. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more on my forehead where I feel like I want a little bit more coverage. And at this point, I'm just going to only use a brush because I'm definitely happier with the coverage of a brush so far. I hope you guys know what I mean. Like, it's obviously not bad with the Beauty Blender. I don't feel like it makes it like awful or anything. I just am definitely a full coverage queen. So for me, I'd rather use a brush so it's easier and more coverage. I really don't want to go in and add any under eye concealer, so I'm just going to add a little bit more like right there, just so I don't look really weird with no under eye coverage. So I'm just going to add a little bit. And I don't feel like it gets heavy or cakey under the eye either. Let me look a little bit closer. Yeah, like it doesn't even look textury or anything under the eye. I'm really surprised. Okay, so before I go ahead and set my face with the powder, I'm going to show you guys a little bit closer, but just look at my face so far. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about this foundation. I don't think it's too dewy, I don't think it's too matte, I don't think it's like cakey or heavy. I mean, the coverage is good, the formula is good, and I feel like especially when I get closer, I don't feel like I see a lot of texture or oiliness or anything. Tell me what you guys think since you guys are seeing me like all up in your grill. I think this is a good foundation so far. So for setting powder, I'm going to use my like recent favorite setting powder, and I know that you guys are really surprised that I'm not using my Coty Airspun. I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D Lock-It Translucent Setting Powder. And I know that it's kind of like a shock that I'm not using my Coty Airspun, but it's just almost like a little bit too dry for me lately to use that. So this has been a little bit better because it sets it without making it look chalky or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes first. I don't know why I grabbed the smallest brush to set my face with. This is going to take like forever. Let me get a big brush so it's going to be a little bit easier. This is how you set your face faster. Oh yeah. So even with all this powder on top of it, I still feel like it looks very like healthy on my skin. I mean, you can obviously see the blemish on my forehead up here still, but that's just like a texture blemish, so it's kind of hard to hide that texture up there, but what can I do? Okay, now that I am powdered, I'm going to use my setting spray just to kind of give my face a little bit of a softer, healthier, dewy look. Alright you guys, so now that my foundation is finally done and set with the powder, I'm going to go ahead and finish my face off camera. Then I'll be back to share with you guys the final look and my final thoughts and opinions on this stick foundation. Alright you guys, so I've had this foundation on for about 3.5 hours now, and I'm still very pleasantly surprised at how much I like this foundation. So I went ahead and added a little bit of powder foundation on top of it in my T-zone because a little bit of the redness was kind of showing through just like a little bit. I don't know if I was overanalyzing it or if it just kind of like faded away a little bit right here, but a little tiny bit of the red and pink was showing through a little bit right here and kind of on my chin, so I added a little bit of powder foundation to add a little bit more coverage. But I don't think that you necessarily have to add a powder to get fuller coverage because I feel like this one is definitely full coverage by itself. But for me, I tried to go for like the fullest coverage I can get, so I wanted to add just a little bit right here, but I don't necessarily think that you have to. For having this foundation on for a couple hours now, I feel like it looks really good, especially when it comes to looking at it close up. I feel like my skin looks very healthy. It doesn't look very textured or anything. It looks like I just have like a full coverage, kind of like dewy complexion going on right now. So to be 100% honest, I do love this foundation a lot and I would recommend it. I mean, the fact that it's $6, I mean, you might as well try it. Like, buy it, try it, see if you like it. If you don't, I mean, give it to somebody else, or I mean, throw it away or return it, do whatever you have to do. But I honestly think that if you like full coverage and want like an easy, quick foundation, you will be really happy with this one. I honestly can't think of like anything bad to say about this foundation. I mean, the formula is good, the coverage is good, the texture is good, the applicator is good. I love the fact that it's like a stick so you can just swipe it on. I mean, it's so quick and so easy. And I just love the fact that I don't have to add any concealer on top of it too. I didn't put anything under my eyes, anything on my forehead concealer wise, and usually I add a lot of concealer. So it's pretty awesome that if I'm ever like in a rush or don't want to add so many layers, I can just swipe this baby all over my face and it's kind of get like a full coverage concealer and foundation in one. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this quick foundation review. If you guys enjoy me doing foundation reviews, let me know down below. I have a whole series of foundation reviews I will link down below as well. I'm trying to almost like review every foundation I come across because I love filming first impressions for you guys. So let me know if you want me to continue doing these, or if you have any foundation requests you guys want me to film, let me know down below. Also make sure you guys follow me on all my social media. Everything is at Brennan Eska. I will link it down below, and make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys had fun watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.